this Google Sheet automatically matches brands to suppliers, and I'm going to show you how it works. And it starts off by you entering the brand name. Right now, you can get brand names in bulk using Keepa, and I have a video where I demonstrate that process. But right now, I'm just going to type in a few brands off the top of my head. So I'm going to type in mainstays, Samsung, Sony. Right, those are like some electronics brands, and I'm going to put Market Pantry. Okay, these are just 4 brands off the top of my head. All right, and I'm going to scroll over, and actually, what I'll do is Control minus and kind of zoom out a bit so I can get over here. Okay, a little more easily. Okay, because it's a big spreadsheet, so use Control minus and kind of zoom out. Okay, now starting with the first one under Supplier 1, I will click on Auto Match Suppliers, and there you go. It will load up suppliers: Walmart, Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, okay, Amazon and eBay. That's what comes up, right? Now, basically, it's getting the suppliers. I want you to know it's getting these suppliers from a list. So there's a huge list of suppliers in here. You can add more to the suppliers to the list, as many as you want. You can also remove suppliers, okay? But it has to have a list, otherwise it doesn't know what it's looking for, okay? Now let's see what it happens with Samsung, Best Buy, okay? So it's telling me that BestBuy.com matches the Samsung. Okay, let's try Sony, Best Buy again, and let me try Market Pantry and see what I get. Okay, right now it's saying not found. Now sometimes the not found is temporary, sometimes it's permanent. It just really depends, right? But if you're really thinking that it should work, you can click it again, but it might come out later or might not come out at all. In that case, well, you can always just use the manual method and just go to Google. And I knew that it was at Target. I thought it would have come up as Target, but for whatever reason right now it's not coming up. But I can always manually do it, and then I can see that it's Target, right? But for the most part, it's going to give you, it will give you the suppliers. Now, the way it works, what it's actually doing is it's actually doing what I just did, which is it's performing an automatic web search. It is then going through the results and pulling out the websites that it finds that are on this list that you provided, right? And that's why you have to put the website on the list, right? You have to put the domain, right? The .com or .net or whatever the domain is. You have to put that domain for the supplier in this list, and that way it knows to look for those particular suppliers, right? Okay, so just to kind of, prove this a little bit, I'm going to go to Best Buy. And I'm going to see if it really does have Samsung. I mean, of course, Best Buy, if you know what Best Buy is, what they sell, then you would expect definitely for Samsung to be found somewhere on Best Buy, right? So, as you can see, it's there, right? Samsung, okay, on BestBuy.com. Okay, and you could look up Sony, and I'm sure you'd get the same result. So that's really the idea. However, so I mentioned Keepa. Okay, this is going to be more useful if you are getting, brands in bulk. So if you go to Product Finder on Keepa, I made a video on this, so I'm not going to do a whole lot on this in this video, but you can do it here. Usually I like to put from 1 for the rank. And then for brands, you can just go to a category. So for brands, you can, just kind of pick a category, right? Just pick a category. So it could be like, let's say health and household. Okay, and you just pick a category, and you can do other, you're trying to get brands, so you're not going to give it a brand. You're trying to find brands, right? And you can do anything you want to kind of narrow down the results a little bit more. You can do Amazon out of stock if you want. You can do things like that. You can do weight, dimensions, but the rank and the category is really enough. But if you're looking for a certain type of product, you can use the title under here and put something for the title if you're looking for like a particular word in the title. Okay, but basically you're just going to do find products, and then this is going to give you some different brands. One problem I see here on this page is I'm just getting Amazon Basics a lot over and over again. Alright, so whether or not these are brands that are retailers on this first page, I don't know, and that's why it's good to narrow it down a little bit more. Right, but if you were to just pull like a few brands out of here kind of randomly, that's not what you do. Normally what you do is you download it, but I'm just saying if you did do that, you could even do that. MedPride, and you might see if they're found at any of your suppliers. Right now it's saying no. And that's why, again, it's just best to do it in bulk. We don't really want to do things one at a time. So what I'm going to do is just export these really quickly so I get some brands. And really I should have exported, like, you should really export 1,000, so you should make this like 1,000 and then export the 1,000 at one time. But I actually already have a sheet that I exported before with some brands in it. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this. I just wanted to give you a quick reminder. Actually, this is not it. Okay, here's the list. So I'm going to copy this list of brands that I exported before. Alright, so you don't have to wait for that. And I'm just going to put them in here. Paste special, paste values. And you'll just see that. Okay, you just pull down this formula and you're going to keep getting all the suppliers will pop up, possibly. Keep in mind, there are brands on Amazon that are not from retail stores. Don't forget, you have private label sellers on Amazon also. So some of these brands don't exist anywhere else. All right, so not every brand is going to be found at a supplier. Keep that in mind. Also, you may not have the supplier on your list. Okay, so that's possible. That's why it's good to have as many suppliers on the list as possible. But as we copy this down, we see some results, right, in some places. So it just kind of varies, right? And we get to see some other suppliers here we might not have thought about. And that's basically how it works. Okay, now you can stamp the suppliers, and that just really removes the formula and just places the text in there. Okay, so now we have the brands over here and we have the suppliers over here stamped. And then what you can do is you can clear them when you're ready. But the other thing I want to show you is this, what this is, because you might be wondering why this says not found. This is a filter. This is so you can filter out your suppliers. So basically, let's say I want to just look at all the brands that I want to see which brands have let's see, Target. So I type in target.com like that. Okay, the first brand lights up green, and here's another one, right? Whatever lights up green, these are brands where target.com is one of the suppliers, okay? And that's why they're lighting up. So Kate and whoever, Laurel, we see as Target. All right, and then I don't see any more after that. And okay, so that's what that does. And then of course you can also use the filter. If you know how to use this, you can turn that off and you can do found, right? Clear the whole filter first and then click found, and then all the two target results will be together, and then now you just look at the target. So this is good if you want a particular supplier and you just want to see what brands came up for that particular supplier. And let's just take a look at Target and just look at that brand, Kate, this one, Kate and Laurel, and I'm going to actually just search it and see if that really comes up, and it does. So you see actual products appearing that are Kate and Laurel. You see the brand name. Okay, so it is a brand that is found at Target. Alright, so it did a correct match. Okay, and that kind of just gives you direction. Is Mainstays also found at Target? Actually it is, as it turns out, right? If you type in Mainstays, we know Mainstays to be a Walmart brand, but as it turns out, it is also at Target as well. Okay, see Mainstay, right? You have 34 Mainstay results. Not as many as Walmart, but yes, here's Mainstays found, okay, for Target.com. Alright, it's right here. So that's something you might not have known, right? That this is telling you. Now, this side is more like researching the brands themselves. Alright, so, okay, I mean, it's fine if the brand is at a certain supplier. You want to know what supplier these brands are found at, but of course, you know, you have to research the brands on Amazon and see if you even have the right to sell them, things like that. So, you know, you can check on Amazon to see if the brand is on Amazon, and that's what these links are for. If you've used my previous version of this, then you already know how this part works. Alright, and I think I have videos on that too. You can check Google to see if it shows up on any restricted lists. You can search it automatically on Amazon to see what product results you get. right? And of course, first of all, you use this to check for the approval, right? To see if you have approval or to see what kind of comes up. Select a condition, right? And then I have Google if you want to Google the brand, and then I have certain things that you can, information like, is the brand on Amazon? Yes, in this case, right? Do I have approval on Amazon for this brand? Yes, I do. Right? Is it on restricted list? No. Okay, and you can answer the questions. Does it have product results? Yeah. Right? Or you can put a number or whatever you want there. You know, and you just answer the questions, right? Just kind of to store data on yours. That way it works kind of like a database as well. But ideally, this is just to get the information on the brands, get the suppliers, and then I would take that data somewhere else and keep it somewhere else so that you can come back here and keep clearing the sheet and reusing it. So once you find a brand you like or whatever, I would take that brand, put it somewhere else, and remember it in your own Google Sheet. You can organize it yourself, right? And that way you can come back here because what you're going to do is actually clear the data, which I'll show you now. So you can clear supplier data like that, and you can clear the brand's data as well, and that will clear the sheet. So what's important here, I'm going to delete this as well, is that these buttons are programmed specifically based on the way the sheet is positioned right now, the where everything is positioned in the sheet. So what that means is that if you add a column, if you insert an extra column, you're going to throw that off. If you insert a column, you're going to make everything shift, and it's still going to be looking for the original column, and then you're going to be deleting the wrong stuff, matching the wrong stuff. It's not going to work. Okay, so this is not meant to be modified. If you have ideas of things you think should be added to this or whatever, just let me know so I can consider making another version. But don't start just moving things around unless you know how to. Now the code for these buttons, for the actual buttons, like where to delete things or to match, there is some code for that. So if you understand Google Apps Script, you might be able to adjust it so that when you move the columns, that it's still deleting and clearing the right thing. But if you don't know Google Apps Script programming, you're not going to be able to do it correctly. So just your best bet is just not to add any columns to this. Okay. But yes, you can add as many suppliers as you want. That you can do, right? And you can delete suppliers from here as well, as long as you keep them in this column A. You don't have to fill in this part, but you can. And that's basically how it works. All right, so that's basically the system in a nutshell. If you want to get a copy of the system, there's a link in the description that will get you the copy. You'll also get some instructions on how to add the auto matching feature to it. Right, you'll get everything that you need to get this program to run. And then if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, you just contact me. My contact information, or you can even leave them below on the video. And yeah, so that's it. This is the Amazon Brands Research System with the auto match on suppliers. Mr. Mark, Excel for Amazon, and I hope to see you, hear from you actually, or see you around on the channel.